So when I say an esports program, we're not just teaching them how to be athletes, competitive athletes. We're teaching them, like you said, life skills, but we're teaching them career industry. We're teaching them all the different things inside esports that they can succeed at, no matter if it's an athlete, graphic design, web design, and so on, and so much more. So it's a program, and that's the reason why we're trying to get it out to not just Evergreen Public Schools. I'm in talks with many schools across the state of Washington and Oregon to build this for the students.
I first got into esports because I got one of Mr. Smith's classes. Mr. Smith is a great teacher and a great coach. He always says no, but he's too humble about it. But I was in one of his classes, and on, I think it's Fridays, if we've done all our work and we're ahead, he would let us play League of Legends on the computers as sort of a break day, as long as we had completed all of our work for the week. It was sort of like a reward. And so I hadn't played League of Legends in about a year. And so I got back into it because I'm like, hey, it's here. It's something fun to do. And after a while, Mr. Smith was like, oh yeah, we're probably gonna start up an esports team. And I was like, I come from Central Kitsap. Last year was actually, I just moved to this school, and we had nothing like that in Central Kitsap. Not even close. Esports wasn't even like a thought. But like it has been great being in esports, because like, I mean, at first I was skeptical, and it's a little rough because like not everyone respects it as a sport. But I gotta say it's been very fulfilling, putting in the work and dedication and getting results from it. And once again, Mr. Smith's passion for it really, I don't know, I think it bleeds onto everyone.
It was definitely a big transition, you know, because I was so used to being baseball, to now all of a sudden esports, you know, and I've always watched esports. You know, I remember watching the FaZe Clan way back when in like 2015 when they were doing their stuff, you know, so I've always had an interest in esports, but I never really thought about what it takes to be an esports athlete. It's honestly a lot. I do personally believe in some aspects esports is more challenging than what baseball ever was to me, you know. And I mean, having that transition, yeah, there was definitely a lot of haze that came with it and a lot of hate that came with it, but at the same time, I knew who I was, and I knew where I stood, and I knew what my esports team meant, and I knew that my teammates were behind me no matter what. You know, yeah, I was an outlier because nobody there has played football, baseball, basketball, anything like that before. So it's definitely a transition for me. But honestly, I think it was probably one of the best transitions I could have made, because like I said, I learned so many lessons in that, and I made so many friends, and I had so many good memories there. I wouldn't change it for anything.
We didn't have my game for esports at the current time last year for the season, but I still wanted to give back and help out and improve all of the things we had going on and grow the community, because that's really what esports is about. It's like the community and the passion, because if you're just playing games by yourself, you're not really sharing, and when you're sharing, you're just sharing energy. When you're sharing energy, you feel better, and your life is just much better than it is by yourself.
You can't have esports without having teamwork. It's a team. They're team games. Got to work as a unit. It's not something that's easy to do. It's something that I've had to learn to do. It's something I still struggle with. But you have to you have to either designate a leader or a leader-esque figure on your team to lead you, or at least advise the team. And I, for a hot second, I actually tried to fill that position. I am not good enough to do that. I break down when I have to be the leader. It is stressful. You have to pay attention to your game. You have to pay attention to 4 other people's games, at least in the game that I play. You have to play your game and the 4 people's games that you're watching. You have to do the strategy for all 5 of you, and then hope to God nobody backtalks.
Yeah.
because that immediately breaks the whole system. So and then impose all of that upon antisocial teenagers that like playing video games alone in their room, and you've got some panic. I have seen so much improvement in my peers, in myself, upon both of those categories, on leading and being led, which is something that you've got to do in esports.
Like I said before, joining esports, I think I wore my esports jersey with more pride and more attitude and swagger than I did with my baseball jersey. You know, I genuinely I fell in love with esports. Like I really did fall in love with it, and I encourage everybody and anybody to give it a shot. There's so much you can learn, and there's so much you can do in esports.
I would say if there was definitely something that I had as far as a regret of last year, it is not getting Christian to continue baseball. I did everything in my power to get him to continue baseball and not join esports if that's what it costed, and I just couldn't do it. So that's one of the regrets I have from last year.
It's okay, Coach. They didn't even have a season. COVID got in the way of that. So, you know what? We didn't have a season, so it was okay. It worked out for me.